who puts a fucking thing in the way like... Why, hello! How the devil are ya? Very good, I hope. Look at the weather. I don't know what to do with myself. So you're joining me, lucky lot, aren't you, on a little ride down to Lyme Regis. Now the last time you came to Lyme Regis with me, I turned around and came on because it was bloody pandemonium down there, and I'm sure it's going to be pandemonium down there today, but we'll just have to take our chances and have a look. So what's new since the beginning of the week? Not a lot. I've fitted the old intercom thingy-me-bob, which is very nice because it's all concealed. There's no clip-on thing on the outside, but being concealed, it was a bit of a bastard to fit, to be fair. Fiddly. And then trying to do the poppers back up, which hold the lining inside, was a bit awkward because it had extra plastic hoops to go through. And then getting the neck roll thing back in took some persuasion, shall we say. And it doesn't help, does it, when manufacturers put out a product, they put out a YouTube how-to guide to fit it all. You open the box and you get to say part C and you think, but mine's different. So this one's got a different antenna, supposedly improved. So instead of being a nice long thin knife-like blade which just slides up inside, it's a little like, you know, like the old aerials used to get on cell phones. It's like one of those. And it took me a bit of head scratching to work out how to fit it. But we got there. But yeah, I got to the neck roll part, putting that back on, and I just couldn't for the life of me see how it was going to go back together. It was just resting on top and flopping around like a life vest. And I thought, ah, for fiddly-dee. But with a bit of oomph, we got there. And then I obviously put the old helmet back on, because you do, don't you? Make sure everything's alright, and you think, this feels tighter than it was. Even though everything is concealed. Even though everything is concealed within the recesses that are there. You know, does your mind play tricks, or was it the fact that with the unit and the battery mounted in round the back and having to squidge the neck roll back in, it just pushed the lining up a bit, which made it feel a bit tighter? I don't know. So there was only one way to find out, and that was to go out for a ride. And this bit of road is horrible. There is so much loose gravel, and I'm on the wrong side of the road for that. This is a death trap. You know, I remember coming down through here, I'm sure it was through here, on my RGV 250 a couple of decades ago, and went into that corner back there a little bit too hot. I ended up on the wrong side of the road. Or was it this corner? I don't know. Silly boy. Roads are not racetracks, they're just not. I mean, some of the crap we got to drive on, I don't think the Romans would have marched on. Now, I'm also giving the Honda integrated navigation thing a go as well, giving that a maiden voyage. But you can't see it because either I'm a complete idiot, or the prompts that show on the dash don't make any sense, and I'm going to go with the latter, even though the former is also probably true. But when you've put in your destination and it's calculated the route, you get a little thing come up down here, which is the north symbol with a little carrot in the middle, and at the bottom there is an arrow left with an X next to it, and there is an arrow right with the reload stroke refresh circle with an arrow in it. So you think, well, I don't want to cancel it, so maybe it just wants me to update. So you hold right on the old button thing here and it disappeared. So I don't know, maybe technology is just leaving me behind. Now the question is, have I got enough fuel? I don't know. Probably not. Didn't give that a whole lot of thought, did I, being Good Friday and all. Should have got fuel before I left. But you'd like to think I might just squeeze it through. Now those poor souls that have been watching, oh geez, look at this crap, where's all this water coming from? So to the poor souls who have been watching my content for the last nearly 11 months, I think, might recognise this route. Been up and down it a couple of times, and up on the hill over there, that goes out to Coney's Castle, which I did last summer, spring probably. In fact, I think that was my first video. Absolutely appalling, but my plan was to leave those up, even though there's no commentary, no nothing. The picture quality wasn't very good, but I thought I'd leave them up so that I can see my journey. Only I don't think I've come too far really, but see, out through here in the summer is pretty gorgeous, with all the canopy overhead and the sunlight peeling through the leaves. You get that nice green glow as you come through here. But of course, being April, everything still looks dead. Now once again I opted with the summer gloves, given that it was it's quite warm getting ready to come out. And I thought, yeah, it's warm enough. But I can tell you now, my 2 fingers there are starting to burn. And even though I've got 2 freaking great big panniers on the back, did I put my other gloves in? No. So no fuel, no gloves. Clever sod. I always remember as a young motorcyclist pulling up at Branson. Well, I was at Branson's one afternoon. It's what we used to do, you know. We go up Branson's and have a look round and plague poor Jerry behind the parts counter, who is still at Branson's. He left for a number of years, but he's back there now in his old role. And I remember being out the front, and it was the summer, and a Honda Goldwing pulled in a bloke with shorts, t-shirt, open face lid, sunglasses, and Orchard FM, which was the local radio station, blaring out. Now to an 18-year-old me, 18-year-old me, that was just ridiculous. It looked stupid. Stupid bike. What's the point? But as you get older, you can certainly see the appeal to these things. I see Ainsworth's had a trio of videos out. Very nice. Another top natter. Ian Hughes has got Honor out of hibernation and given her a blat. Tame did that fantastic I thought that was a little squirrel or something. Tame's done a excellent video at the Honda Museum. Sorry, I had talking in my ear then. Of course it was the sat-nav. So what we had, yeah, Tame, Aussie biker dude. Seems to be swapping out one of his bikes. He had a nice telephone conversation with Tame. And obviously myself, Peter from Lane's Explorer, has been well, exploring, which is nice. And as Ainsworth said, you know, there's a relaxing quality to Peter's videos. Nick from Silver Fox Travels has done a seminar on what defines a cruiser. I think he was just trying to help Mr. Fillingham out, which was nice of him. There's a couple of new channels I've subscribed to, and I can't for the life of me think of their names. I will pop them here somewhere. One of them's just bought a new Honda NC 500, I think. brand spanker. Of course, Derek's got his new bike. He was waiting for his number plate registration document to come through so he could ride it. And I sent him a message yesterday, which was Thursday, and he didn't reply to it, so I thought, he must have got it and gone off to Stonham Barns. And just as I was leaving, there was a notification and he popped the video up, which I haven't had a chance to watch yet. But obviously gone to Stonham Barns. As Tame would say, I think he wanted to go. Now, of course, the viaduct's out that way, which I went out to. In a previous video, I didn't bring my drone today. Just starting to get a bit of arse ache now. Again, another good reason for coming out today, get some mileage on, breaking the old saddle. I can see the sea. Oh, do I want to take the next right on the Pound Road? Don't think I do, really. Yeah, boobaloop. I will. It's a steep old hill, this one. Well, welcome to the historic town of Lyme Regis, which is historic. Okay, this is where the pain starts. My fingers are numb at this point because I've got the wrong gloves on. Not that it's particularly cold. It's more a case of, I think, since been on the Ramapril, my Reynolds is 100 times worse than it's ever been. So the first sign of a bit of a chill, and that's it, and my fingers just go white as a sheet. So I've noticed on the car park sign here, motorcycle parking is free, so I can't remember if there was a motorcycle bay down here or not, so I'm turning in to have a look. There's the old place. not seen any motorcycle bloody parking. Okay, so we've crossed the road into the next part of the car park, and my plan is to head straight up here, turn right by the VW Golf, head on round the car park and have a look to see if there's somewhere to park. As you'll see in a moment, as I go to turn to the right to head on round, there's a great big drain in the way with a fence around it, and it's a dead end, much to my annoyance. Who puts a fucking thing in the way like... Oh shit! Ow! Who puts a fucking thing in the way like... Oh shit! Ow!
Okay, mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, just take it. 1, 2, 3.
Oh shit. Oh, thank you. Okay, analysis time. What can I say? Off camber, hard right hand lock, foot on the rear brake. I don't know, grabbed a fistful of front brake for some stupid reason, because we all know the rules, don't we? The suspension obviously dived pretty heavy looking at it, catapulted me off my seat, and at that point there was only one outcome, and that was Mr. Gravity taking over, as Derek would say. Yeah, all I can say is thank God that those two chaps were there to help, because my foot was pinned underneath the engine of the bike. So I don't know if I'd been able to have lifted it enough to get my foot out, and that probably would have caused more damage. I was pretty lucky in getting away with scratched pannier. The bar end got a little bit chewed up, and I think when they lifted the bike up, as you can hear that awful scraping sound, the exhaust shield got two sort of tiny little dents in it, so it could have been a lot worse. Oh, and the rear brake levers got bent a little bit, but well, I can live with that for now. Thank you.
Looking for bike parking?
Hey?
You're looking for bike parking? Up the end, if you go up here,
Yeah.
right to the end, follow it round, there's a little bit of bike parking, a triangular bit on the end.
Lovely, thank you very much.
It's free as long as you park within... It's free as long as you park within the line.
Right, okay. I mean, it goes without saying, I'm gutted and deeply annoyed. It's my own stupid fault. I mean, a brand new bike with, what, 150 miles on the clock, and I'm throwing it around the car park. But these things happen, don't they? Hopefully they only happen once. So that's a car park spill off the bucket list. I think I'm going to remove the rest of them from the bucket list and hope they never rear their ugly heads. But yeah, what can I say? Shit happens. Just having a quick hand warming stop. Okay, so what got broke? Fortunately, very little. That's the worst of it, is this. But yeah, I can live with it. Exhaust is okay. couple of tiny dinks there, but oh well, worst happens at sea. So what do I think happened? I think it was just when I stopped the turn, I was already leaning it over a bit, I think. It just caught me off guard, and that was it. Doink. Come on, fingers. Back to life. Look, bit of plastic squish there. Could have been worse. Good job I had these on. Whereas it could have been quite messy. Ugh.